Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Hey guys, healthcare video. Let's go.
State of crisis.
Now it's Germany versus, or how Germany's healthcare system works, sorry. Hey guys, my name's Connor. If you're new, hope you're doing well.
That it has major problems. That's why we're hearing a lot about Medicare for all, including some plans going as far as banning private health insurance companies altogether.
On page 8 of the bill, it says that we will no longer have private insurance as we know it. And that means that 149 million Americans will no longer be able to have their current insurance. That's in 4 years. I don't think that's a bold idea. I think it's a bad idea.
Problem, Senator Sanders, with that damn bill that you wrote, and that Senator Warren backs, is that it doesn't trust the American people. I trust you to choose what makes the most sense for you, not my way or the highway.
One country found a way to provide universal health care coverage while maintaining a competitive insurance market that offers citizens more choices. Germany. Here's how they did it.
Germany's healthcare
in 2017, U.S. healthcare.
I just want to say, learning about Germany's healthcare has been the most stressful yet, just because my brain doesn't work.
Came to around 10,200 U.S. In 2017, U.S. healthcare spending came to around $10,200 US per capita. In Germany, it was a little under $6,000. Overall, Germany spent about 11.2% of its GDP on healthcare, while the U.S. spent 17.1%. Germany manages to cover 100% of its population. In the United States, about 8.8% of the population remains uninsured. That comes to about 28 million.
Question. When it comes to the healthcare spending data, okay, these percentages. So this means that the United States, like, it becomes more difficult when it's not a free healthcare system where, you know, the cost of healthcare is going to be how much did the government spend on healthcare, right? But when it comes to, you know, more private implemented measures in healthcare, going to the more extreme end when it comes to the U.S., what does this number mean? So this just means, like, how much money healthcare industries made? Okay. All right.
It manages to cover 100% of its population.
Or just that, like, okay, I'm sorry.
In the United States, about 8.8% of the population remains uninsured. That comes to about 28 million people, with even more people underinsured. Despite spending less, Germany has better or comparable health outcomes to the United States. Studies show that in Germany, there were fewer deaths that could have been prevented with proper access to care. In 2013, there were 83 avoidable deaths out of every 100,000 people in Germany, while the United States had 112. Life expectancy in Germany is 2.5 years higher than the United States, and the infant mortality rate is lower in Germany, with 3.3 deaths per 1,000 live births, as opposed to 5.8 deaths in the United States. Additionally, the maternal mortality rate in the United States is more than 2 times higher than in Germany. So how does Germany manage to have better health outcomes while spending nearly half as much as the United States?
Germany is a system that would look familiar to Americans in that everybody buys health insurance from a private company, and then the doctors and the hospitals and the labs are almost all private.
That's T.R. Reid, author of the book, The Healing of America. He traveled the world exploring different healthcare systems and how well they worked.
But it works better in Germany for a couple of reasons. One is everybody is covered. Everybody is required to have insurance. Everybody's in the system. The insurance companies can't turn you down because you had cancer last year or something. They have to take you. They have to cover you. Everybody has access to the same treatment, and all the doctors, you can go to any doctor without any limit set by the insurance company.
In Germany, health insurance is mandatory for all citizens and permanent residents. There are 2 different systems that residents can turn to for insurance. SHI, which stands for Statutory Health Insurance. and PHI, or private health insurance. German citizens are eligible for PHI if they make more than roughly 60,000
Yeah, this is a part of the video that we'll go through it, but that confused me on a different video.
US dollars per year, or if they are self-employed. Citizens making under that threshold must pay into SHI. SHI is made up of a network of competing not-for-profit private health insurance funds known as sickness funds.
And this is what confused me, is how do non-profit private companies compete? Is it just by, so them giving better like healthcare, but if they're all given equal amounts of money from the government, but they're still competing like with that money? I understand that even people given same amount of money, some will make better improvements, right? But okay.
In SHI, dependents are covered free of charge, and monthly costs are capped around €840 per month. Even though SHI sickness funds are not government agencies, many Germans think of them as part of a public system because of heavy regulation. Keith Tanner helps expats navigate the German healthcare system, and he considers SHI sickness funds quasi-public organizations.
Basically, they have to do what they're told. They are told by the government in what range they can charge. They're told what health procedures they can fund, and they are told by the government who they can accept as clients. So they're really just carrying out orders.
They're basically charities. They don't exist to make a profit for investors like American health insurance companies. They're there to keep people healthy. That's what they're there for. They follow all sorts of rules that American insurance companies wouldn't dream of.
The system is funded through compulsory contributions based on a percentage of citizens' salaries, with employers sharing the costs. There are also built-in safety of citizens' salaries.
Dream of.
The system is funded through compulsory contributions based on a percentage of citizens' salaries, with employers sharing the costs. There are also built-in safety nets. The government will pay into SHI on behalf of the long-term unemployed. Despite being non-profit organizations, sickness funds compete for customers by offering specific coverage and perks. This competition has changed over the years as the system has allowed citizens more choice. As of 2019, there are about 100 statutory health insurance.
This is super important, guys. This is the big thing I'm confused with. Okay.
Being non-profit organizations, sickness funds compete for customers by offering specific coverage and perks. This competition has changed over the years as the system has allowed citizens more choice.
But how can they compete with offering different things if they're given I mean, if you're like, it's just, if you all play by the same rules, right, which you have to, like in Germany, they all are private, but I understand that part, how they're private, but they still have all of this stuff they have to work under. But then how is the money delegated between each of these private healthcare agencies, whatever you want to call them? And if they're all given the same, how do they offer different things that the other people can't offer?
As of 2019, there are about 100 statutory health insurance companies, but there used to be many more. When Germany's system was first established in the late 1800s, sickness funds were linked to a person's profession. It used to be that people were assigned to a specific sickness fund based on their occupation or region. Now Germans can choose where they enroll, and they can change funds on a yearly basis. As a result, sickness funds began marketing themselves in order to retain customers and attract new ones. This also led to the funds merging, so they could become more competitive. Some of the sickness funds offer perks that might seem similar to credit card rewards.
You still can get a bonus for going to the gym, and a bonus for having a checkup. This is in the public system. And if you get a certain number of bonus points, then you get a voucher. But kind of trivial stuff like 200 a year or something like that.
Oh. I was going to say, how do you... See, how do you know that they're at the gym and actually working out? Like, if you just go into the gym and just like sit down, you get the extra 200? Or are they gonna like strap a heart rate monitor on your wrist to like monitor? Are you really like helping your health at the gym? Okay, all right.
200 euros a year, nothing which is particularly relevant to the person who's paying their $840 a month.
As of 2017, roughly 87% of Germans received their primary coverage through SHI and 11% of the population through PHI. The remaining population, such as soldiers, police officers, and refugees, receive health insurance through specific government programs. All individuals insured through PHI pay a risk-related premium with separate premiums for each dependent. These risk-based premiums mean related government programs. All individuals insured through PHI pay a risk-related premium with separate premiums for each dependent. These risk-based premiums mean that costs will increase as the insured gets older. As a result, the government regulates PHI so people don't become overburdened by premiums as they age.
The biggest issue with private health insurance, if you opt out of a public system, is affordability in old age. If you don't impose these financial constraints on the insurers, then the government will be lumbered with a whole lot of old people who reach 85, 90, 95, are going to be totally unable to pay for their health insurance. So it'll all fall back on the government.
Once someone switches to PHI, they cannot switch back to SHI in the future. But Tanner says there are ways around that.
If you're a freelancer in the private system, you're just going to get a job. Paying less, there's a threshold. Any employee earning under about $5,000 a month is required to have public. If they earn more than that, they can opt out.
What if they fall, like, what if they earn more than that, but then they fall back and then they don't make as much anymore? They still have to pay for the PHI?
Public. Earning under about $5,000 a month is required to have public. If they earn more than that, they can opt out. So if you are a freelancer, you want to go back into the public system for some reason, then you get a part-time job with a friend, pays you $500 a month for a few months, and then you're back in the public system.
Oh, come on. I can't.
Ways to do it. The only reason you probably want to do that, though, is if you have lots of children, because children can be covered free in the public system. In the private system, you have to pay separately for each child.
Germans can also buy supplemental private insurance while staying in SHI. For example, many Germans buy supplemental dental insurance.
The public system pays for major dental work about half the cost, and then you get supplementary to take it up to 80, 90% of the cost.
Germany's system is not perfect. With so many different insurance companies, there's a lot of bureaucracy that contributes to costs.
One of the financial things, thinking if the public system administered by more than 100 organizations called Krankenkasse. Each of those has a head office and a president and a vice president and a financial officer and a whole lot of unnecessary bureaucracy.
This may be one of the reasons that the German system is not as cost-effective as other European countries. More than 30% of both Germans and Americans felt bureaucracy was a major issue in their country's system. Wait times can also be an issue for people in SHI. 37% of Germans cite wait times as one of the biggest problems within their system, while 22% of Americans feel the same.
Generally, I think people are quite happy with the public system. It works reasonably well. The major issue in big cities, I'm in Berlin, Munich, Düsseldorf, Hamburg, it can take quite a while to get an appointment with a specialist. It is the case that the doctors prefer the private patients because they earn up to 3 times more if they see a private patient.
So what can the United States learn from the German system? Germany has managed to balance cost controls and universal coverage while also maintaining competition. And Germans generally like their system. In one survey, not a single German said they had to wait more than 4 months for an elective surgery, while 4% of Americans said that they had to wait that long for the same kinds of procedures. And only 7% of Germans said they experienced a barrier to care because of cost in the past year, compared to 33% of Americans.
Citizens really like it. They like the fact that everybody is covered. They like the fact that the costs are totally predictable. You know what it's going to cost you and how much your insurance company is going to pay you before you walk in, unlike the United States. They think it's normal that the insurance company pays every claim. They can't believe that an insurance company might deny a claim. And they think it's normal that they get to choose the doctor. They don't understand America, where the insurance company says, we won't cover Dr. Jones, you have to go to Dr. Smith instead. So the main thing I learned in going around the world is you have to make the commitment to provide health care for everybody. That's the destination. It turns out there are many different routes to that destination. I found, the Canadian model, the French model, the British model, the German model, they all get to this goal in different ways and different models. So I don't care what the model is. I think it's important that you make the commitment to cover everybody. And this is something the world's richest country has never done.
Okay, so a main thing it's interesting. I would love, guys, if you could help me out. I know I probably look a lot confused throughout a lot of this, but I am trying to learn here. But a major thing I'm getting, and I hate sugarcoating, and so I like getting down to just like, I don't care about just what's going on. And so it seems like the American healthcare model is very much where you can get, if you have enough money, there is no barrier to how much healthcare you can get. It's like, I'm sure there's some, but very few, especially compared to first world countries. It's like, if you have the money, go. Get this, go over here. And so it's sort of like America goes far away from the more European concept of healthcare, where it's like, no, you don't get all of these surgeries just because you have extra money, because there are other people that aren't you that don't have that money that we are trying to get them some healthcare too, rather than just let you have all of the healthcare you want because you're very rich and let the people who don't have money that aren't you suffer. Then, okay, yeah, I get it. You are going to, I like the blunt approach of like, yes, you are going to have longer wait times because we're covering everyone. It's sort of like complaining. It's like you have a giant group of people and like you get your stuff and like you're complaining like what's wrong? If I was over there, I could get it. It's like, all right, but there are 100 people behind you that you're asking me to just skip because you have some extra money. It's kind of like, hey, I know these wait times are big, but in America you can like slip them a few bills and let you cut the line and get the best treatment, right? And so that's so messed up. Like, that's messed up. So I get it. It's like but I like that blunt, no sugarcoating approach of like, yes, you will have to wait longer. You won't be able to get any surgery when you want because we're trying to help everyone. I can so much more side with like get on with that than people who are like, well, no, actually there's everything perfect over here. It's just that you're screwing over. I like the, no, it's not perfect. You're going to have a few things, but our end goal is let's treat everyone with some dignity with healthcare rather than just letting the rich cut the line and cheat and get there and be like, hey, forget treating that guy on the street. Like, here's money. Just give me super good healthcare. That's messed up. I can't say that's not messed up. It clearly is. And this just kind of shows like the kind of American versus European mentality of caring more about your citizens at the detriment of maybe your own lifestyle if you're super rich, because we don't want to have everyone suffer, okay? And so I like that. No. So I like the bluntness of this conversation, okay? There's no weeds. Because as soon as somebody tells me that, like, nothing's wrong in your thing over there, like, if you over in Europe, like, tell me, like, oh, nothing's wrong, then I'm not going to believe you. But if you show me, like, I keep saying like, I'm sorry, I hate when I do that, like. But if you show me, if you tell me, no, it's not perfect, you are going to have some shortcomings, but it's more fair because we're not letting someone suffer because they don't have any money. And so, yes, we can't give you this care right away like you could get in the US because you have money, because we're reaching everyone in the line before you. Okay, I can talk with that. Like, I'm with you there. Okay, interesting video, guys. Love you all. Hope you're all doing well. Would appreciate any answers to my questions, any comments. Would appreciate if you liked and subscribed, and hopefully I will see you next video. Bye, guys.